resources section of this lecture, I provide a link to WordPress's Options API Codex page. This is what WordPress has to say about the Options API. The Options API is a simple and standardized way of storing data in the database. The API makes it easy to create, access, update, and delete options. All the data is stored in the WP Options table under a given custom name. This page contains the technical documentation needed to use the Options API. To put it simply, it's a way for us to create options for our theme. If you've created some web apps, you're probably used to creating a table for your settings. While this may seem appropriate for your own web apps, it's overkill for WordPress. A lot of WordPress sites will have dozens of plugins installed. It would be pretty hard to maintain the database if every plugin and theme created their own set of tables with settings. WordPress has standardized these types of situations by providing the Options API. The Options API will provide an easy way to create, retrieve, update, and delete options and/or settings. In the activation file, I'm going to start using the Options API. Create a variable called theme_OPTS. This variable's value will be set to the value returned by the function get_option. This is the first function in the Options API. This will simply retrieve the value of an option. The option I want to retrieve is called JU_OPTS. This option doesn't exist, or at least it shouldn't, when the user first activates our theme. If this option doesn't exist, WordPress will return false. Next, inside a conditional statement, I'm going to check if this value is false. It's very important that we do this. If a user toggles between themes, then we could end up overwriting their settings if they previously activated our theme. At this point, the user is activating our theme for the first time. I'm going to create an array called $OPTS. This array will have a few key value pairs. The first few values will be our social network icons. I'm simply going to type their names out, which is Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. All their values will be set to an empty string. Next up is our logo. We want to give our user two choices: to either use their site name as their logo or use an image. This key will be named logo_type. There are only two possible values, which is 1 and 2. 1 will be text, and 2 will be for an image. Afterwards, we're going to add a key to store the logo image. This will be an empty string. Lastly, we're going to create an option for the text in the footer. Now, it's time to add our option into the database. We use a function called add_option. This function has two parameters: the name of the option and its value. The name will be JU_OPTS. The value will be the array we just created. One thing I should be clear on is that you don't have to set the option as an array. You can use any value you want. It can be a Boolean, integer, or just a plain string. However, I wanted to use an array as I don't want to create 6 different options. It's much easier to have one option with an array of values. So now, I want you to toggle between themes, and if you don't get any error messages, then you're good to go. Just to double check, I'm going to open up phpMyAdmin. I'm going to navigate to our WordPress database and open up the WP_options table. I know this is the table that stores our options info because that's what was stated in the WordPress Codex page. Since I know we just created this option, I can then go to the very last row and see if the JU_OPTS option was created. As you can see, it was created. The value is pretty weird. Don't worry about this. WordPress has to format an array so that it can fit inside the database properly. All our values are sanitized during input and then converted back to an array when we need it. In the next few lectures, we'll start creating a page for our theme. This special page will allow users to update the theme's options.